Hey there, Kimberly here with Knit for Brains. Have you ever wondered what the difference is between the US crochet style stitches and the UK crochet style stitches? Well, today that's what we're going to talk about, so stay tuned. Hey there, Kimberly here with Knit for Brains, and I'm actually really looking forward to today's episode. Unlike all the other episodes that I do with you, which I look forward to as well, I feel somehow uniquely qualified to talk about today's topic, and that is the difference between the US crochet stitches and the UK crochet stitches. And if you don't know the difference between the two, you could be in for a world of hurt. Now, the reason that I find myself uniquely qualified for this particular topic is because I happen to be married to a Brit, to an expat, they call him. His name is Mike. He is my Brit. We have known each other 20 years. We dated 15 years. We've been married 4 years. He was a little slow in the uptake. But in being with him for a good part of my life, most of my adult life, I have learned the subtle differences between our two cultures. And they are plenty, let's say. He's not a big fan of some of our foods. For instance, he doesn't like peanut butter, but he loves peanuts. He does not like olives, but he loves olive oil. He also doesn't like seals, horses, or cows, but that's okay. I think he's just, a little afraid of them because sometimes they can get a little gregarious. But that being said, today's topic is about the difference between the US crochet stitches and the UK crochet stitches. Now, why does this matter? Well, I'll tell you why. Because if you purchase a pattern, let's say, and you start to make it and you don't realize that it's in the UK stitch patterns, your project is going to be like twice as big, okay? So I did a little bit of research, and the only reason I know this is because I, in fact, have done this myself. I have purchased a pattern thinking that it was a US stitch pattern, and it turns out to be a UK stitch pattern, and I'm like, why the heck is my sweater this big? Well, it turns out that there is a reason that they name it. But basically, for a double crochet in the US, it's like a single crochet to UK. And when they mention a triple crochet or a triple crochet in UK, it's like a double crochet in the US. It can be very, very confusing. So I thought today I'm going to walk through it with you, each one of the steps, describe it, and then show it to you. Now, first of all, I'm thinking, why in the world would the UK do something as silly as to completely change things up and make it their own way? So I did a little bit of research. The Brits, at least mine in particular, but most of the Brits that I have met and fell in love with through him and are now related to, they are very literal in their thinking. What do I mean by that? Well, if you tell them something is blue, they will take it for truth. So in the UK, when they say that it is a double crochet stitch, what they're basically saying is there are 2 loops of yarn on your hook, therefore 2 being double. In the US, when we say a double crochet, that means we're doing 2 stitches yarning over. But the UK looks at the initial number of stitches or of loops on the hook, and that's how they determine single crochet, double crochet, treble, or triple, as we call it, and then so forth. That's the major difference. Once I understood that, then it made a lot more sense to me. So let's go ahead and dive in and see what the differences are and how you can tell which kind of pattern you have, and then how you can just accommodate. Okay, so let's talk first about the chain stitch. Now, the chain stitch between the UK and the US is exactly the same. You just yarn over, pull through, and then you pull through making a stitch on the hook. And it's called the same thing, chain stitch, with the abbreviation CH. So here's our chain stitch. Nothing different here. The next one is the slip stitch. Once again, this is exactly the same between the two. Slip stitch is called the same in the UK as it is in the US, and the abbreviation is also SLST, slip stitch. And to do the slip stitch, as we know, you just go into the stitch, yarn over, and pull all the way through. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. What we know in the US as a single crochet, or SC for abbreviation, is called a double crochet or a DC in the UK. So what we do here is you put the hook through the stitch, just like this, yarn over, and you pull it through. That is a single crochet. That's what we call a single crochet. In the UK, it's the exact same stitch, but they have a different name. So we go through, we yarn over. Now here's why they call it something different. Because there are 2 loops on this hook, that's how they determine the name double crochet, as in 2 crochets. The next one that's a little bit different is the half double crochet, which we know as HDC. They call the half treble crochet HTR. We know treble as triple. So to do this stitch, you yarn over, go into your stitch, pull that yarn through. Now we have 3 stitches on or 3 loops rather, on our hook. This is why in the UK it's called a half treble crochet, because there are 3 stitches. For us, we yarn over and we pull all the way through. So it's the same stitch, it's just called something different. Here again, in the UK, we've got the 3 stitches on our hook, we yarn over and we pull through all 3 at the same time. The next one we call a double crochet, they call a triple or a treble crochet. So the way that we do that is we yarn over, we go into our stitch just like we've done, and because there are 3 loops on our hook, the UK calls this a treble crochet or 3 loops. You yarn over just the 2, yarn over one more time and pull through the remaining 2. Again, in the UK, because there are the 3 loops on this hook, they call this a treble or a triple crochet. So the UK, you yarn over, same as the US, just a different name. The next step is called the treble crochet or the triple crochet in the US, which the abbreviation is TR. In the UK, it is called a double treble crochet. In this stitch, you yarn over once, yarn over twice, go into your stitch, like so, yarn over. Now, because you have 4, right, or 2 double treble crochets, so it's a double treble, this is why the UK calls it a double treble crochet. For us, we call this a treble because you yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 3. So we have 3 steps. This is why we call it a triple crochet. Let's go one more. So now we're going to yarn over 3 times. So there's 1, 2, 3. This is what we call a double treble or a double triple crochet, a DTR. The UK calls this a triple treble crochet, which is a TTR. So as you yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and yarn over and pull through 4. Let's do that again. So you yarn over 3 times. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. You go into your stitch. Good, just like that, and pull through. Now we have 5 stitches or 5 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and yarn over, pull through 4. So we have 3 basically crochets that we're doing, and the UK calls that a triple treble crochet. There you go. So if you don't think that knowing the difference between the UK crochet terms and the US crochet terms really mean anything, it makes a big difference, let me show you. I made this cute little bumblebee. Isn't this adorable? Then, on purpose, this was actually my husband's idea, the Brit, and I thought, oh, I don't want to do this. But I did. I took the same exact pattern and I did it based on the UK terms, but I did it in terms of the US, so I didn't translate it over. This is how he's supposed to look. This is how it looked. Quite the big difference. So this guy here, same pattern, UK terms, US terms. Get the difference? In the US, we don't really differentiate between them. So if you notice a pattern that doesn't have the differentiation as to whether it's US or UK, you're probably fine. It's probably written in US. But as a rule of thumb, if it's from another country, it very well might be written in UK terms. So you want to take a look at that and make sure that you know what you're doing. So I hope that makes sense. It's just little subtle differences, but it can make a huge, huge difference. Now, how do you know when a pattern is written in a US terms or UK terms? The only way you can tell is you just hope that the pattern writer knows what they're doing and they will go ahead and write it, or they will put some kind of notification on the pattern that it's written in the UK terms or the US terms. For instance, this pattern right here that I'm working on, it's very clear that it says its pattern is written in the UK terminology. So I know then that if she's saying that this is a double triple or a double crochet, that we're actually talking about, you know, like a single crochet or a double crochet if it's a triple or whatever it is. But you just hope that there is clear information somewhere in the instructions, usually in the very beginning, where they talk about the supplies that you need, the tools and different things like that. You might find that it says it's written here in US terms or UK terms. If you're ordering patterns off of Etsy or maybe even Ravelry, you want to really make sure that you know what you're getting. Not that you shouldn't buy these patterns, of course you should, but just know that it's most likely going to be written into a pattern that you're not familiar with. And perhaps you need to like do a little chart here, maybe cross them out and put in, you know, if it's a double crochet or whatever it is. If you're purchasing things off of, say, like Etsy, there's a lot of European designers or people that are not from the United States. So it's very possible that you will run into a pattern that is done in UK terms. And usually patterns that come from Europe, whether they come from Ukraine or Russia or Poland or England or Ireland or even Australia, New Zealand, Canada, most likely you're going to find those patterns are written in UK terms. Thanks so much for watching. Please tell your friends to come over, join us. We have so much fun here. As I said, we do lots of tutorials and unboxings and work in progress and all different kinds of things like that. So have them join in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and that subscription button so you know every time I have a video drop, you'll know to check in. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you soon.